The opinions in this podcast are all our own.
But the businesses are real chamber members.
It's a chamber chat.
Coming to you from Wahoo, Nebraska. Chamber Chat with Kate
And Kat.
Welcome to Chamber Chat with Kate.
And Kat. I'm Catherine Nygren, owner of Found and Flora Flower Shop.
And I'm Kate to Coast, owner of Kate to Coast Photography. This podcast is everything Wahoo Chamber of Commerce.
And now a message from one of our chamber champions. Hey, Kate, have you heard about First Bank of Nebraska's school branded debit cards?
Oh, I think I have seen those. What's the deal with them?
So every time you use your card, a portion goes back to your favorite school. And you can pick your school, and they offer several in our area, including Wahoo Public, Bishop Neumann, St. Wenceslaus, and St. John's and Weston.
That is so awesome. How do I get one?
Well, it's super easy. All you have to do is call or stop by First Bank of Nebraska in downtown Wahoo and choose your school and get your card. Well, Kate, we have another guest in the studio today.
We do. We've been so lucky with all of our guests.
I know. It's so much fun to have somebody to talk to instead of us just talking at each other all the time.
I know. And we're like learning, and we were like, we need to hit record.
Yeah, that's right. I know. We always like start chit-chatting, and then 5 minutes later, we're like, oh, this really should be part of the podcast.
Yes,
so.
yes.
Well, speaking of learning, we have Cliff Stukenholtz today from the SCC Learning Center here in Wahoo.
Yes. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I'm so glad that we're getting this out there. One of the things we were talking about before we hit record was that there are still people that don't know that we have a learning center here in Wahoo, right downtown.
And you don't have to be a college student to take a class.
No.
I mean, that's actually, college student is actually one of the last things the Learning Center does. We obviously offer credit courses through the Learning Center. People can sign up for them. We actually have had students sit in our classroom via Zoom, and so they're allowed, it allows them to be like they're a part of the class in Lincoln or Beatrice or Milford, where the main campuses are.
Okay.
So the Learning Center is actually based on leisure classes. So anything from how to teach you how to paint like Bob Ross to cabochon jewelry.
Oh, nice.
So anything like that and anything in between is what we actually offer there. I mean, we also have test proctoring, where anybody that is taking a SCC class, we actually have a lot of nursing students that live in Omaha or Fremont that actually will come to our Learning Center instead of driving all the way to Lincoln or Beatrice.
Oh, makes sense.
To take their tests. And so all their instructors do is send us an email with the code to get into their tests, and then we can proctor the test for them.
Oh, wow.
There's other options. I mean, there's a thing online it's called Proctor U, but it costs to do that, where the Learning Center is free.
Okay.
Especially if you're an SCC student. We actually had a student that was going online to Chadron State College.
Wow.
That came to the Learning Center. I think he lived in Fremont, but he came down and he was having his test proctored.
Okay.
Instead of going online and having to pay for that.
That's interesting. I didn't know that paying online was an option.
It is. It's either $25 or $40 per test.
Holy cow.
So,
Oh, wow.
if you need a test proctored, you have to, but that's one of the perks of the Learning Center is they can come in, and especially if they're an SCC student, it's free.
That's great.
Well, and you guys have regular hours there too. So if you're looking to have a test proctored, you know.
Our hours are Monday through Friday, 9 to 5.
Okay.
And the only time it changes is during the summer. Fridays we close at 4.
Okay.
Since there isn't as many classes going on in the summer as there is spring and
It's
fall.
kind of a little summer break for you guys.
Yep.
A little downtime. So that's wonderful. Well, I know the leisure classes I've had, like my kids have taken some of the classes there in your building, and I have an 8-year-old and a 14-year-old, so it's all ages.
Right.
You can take classes.
Correct. We actually have a class that's coming up. I think it's called Rip Glue. We gotta find it. Rip Cut Glue Collage Art, and that is for I believe that one is 7 and up. And the same instructor has a draw up a sketch that is ages 10 and up. So there is no upper limit. If you want to sign up, you can come and take a class. So we've had some classes where we've had, I think she was 8, and then there was a lady in there that was either 82 or 83.
Oh, wow.
So
So
it
show
was
the range in one class.
In one class.
Really?
Yep.
That's great.
What
so,
kind
yeah,
of class does an 8-year-old and an 82-year-old take?
It was the draw up a sketch.
Okay. I'm curious now.
Yeah.
So it teaches you, well, and the instructor, she's a artist here in the local area, Alyssa Hansen is the one
yeah.
Okay.
So
who
talented.
teaches that. Yeah. So she teaches that, but teaches it, it's actually kind of a kids, it's put under the kids area, but adults can take it to that draw up a sketch.
Okay.
It just teaches you how to sketch anything.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's a very interesting class. It's actually, those two that I just talked about are coming up April 26th, so in a few weeks.
Okay, so you can still get into those.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
You can sign up till the day before.
Oh, okay.
Most of them. If you had to sign up by paper copy, we ask you to do it a little sooner, but if you're signing up their new online registration system, you can even sign up the morning of if you can get in fast enough and get signed up for it. So,
Oh, wow. That's great.
So yeah, we try to know ahead of time just so we can let our instructor know
What to prepare for.
what to prepare for, if they have to bring supplies for the class.
Oh, sure.
So they know how much
yeah.
to prep for, how many things to bring.
Uh-huh.
And we also have, most of the time we have a limit. We have to have minimum registration to run the class,
Makes sense.
just to make sure it covers their costs of coming in and doing it, covering our cost of having it. So,
Right,
Mhm.
right.
and most of the leisure classes in ours are either offered Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday evening, or we'll do Saturdays.
Okay.
Vast majority of ours are Saturdays.
And were those classes that you were talking about, is that like a one-time class or is that like a multiple day class?
It depends on the class. Like the Bob Ross, the Draw Up a Sketch, those type of classes, they are one day
Mm-hmm.
for 2 1/2 to 3 hours generally. Like your daughter took the intro to ukulele class, that was 6 weeks.
Yeah.
It met
Oh, wow.
She had a lot of fun.
it
Yeah.
was-
great.
They met for an hour on a Thursday night for 6 weeks.
Okay.
So there are a lot of different classes that are offered in that manner. Most of ours are just one-time classes.
Sure.
Like
sure.
something fun, like the fun leisure ones, like a
Fun leisure
craft
ones.
or
Yep. I mean, that's the biggest thing is we have some very talented instructors that do a lot of craft classes. That's,
And that's always fun to do. And I guess, when you're saying like the ages, I feel like that is like for any age. Like, let's come and craft or grab a friend. And
yeah, just
craft.
grab a friend.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we
And
have
take a class together.
the one we just had that was last Saturday was beginning portrait drawing. So it had a grandma and 3 of her grandkids. She came
Oh.
in. She signed up the 3 grandkids to take the class with her.
Okay.
Oh,
So we
that's
do have
great.
several of those where
That's
a grandma
fun.
and grandkid will come in and take the class together.
What a fun little thing to do together.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
we'll have families that'll come in, especially for the Bob Ross painting class. We'll
Okay.
have 3 or 4 family members. There'll be a girls' day out or a family day out where mom, grandma, granddaughter, aunts will all sign up and come and take this Bob Ross class together.
I feel like the Bob Ross one is very popular.
The Bob Ross one is very popular. The artist is Lisa Strokivsky from Lincoln.
Okay.
She actually goes to all 6 of our learning centers.
Oh, wow.
So there is 6 learning centers. They are in Fall City, Nebraska City, Plattsmouth, Wahoo, York, and Hebron.
Okay. Okay.
So-
So you're,
That's quite a distance.
yeah, you're all over.
So if you think about Southeast Community College covers the 15 counties in Southeast Nebraska. So they have their main campuses in Beatrice, Lincoln, and Milford.
Okay.
And so the reason why the learning centers were created is when the current president of SCC, Dr. Illich, came and started, he wanted to create a place where anyone in that area, the residents of those counties, would not have to drive more than 35 miles to have access to SCC. So that's why they are positioned where they are.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So Southeast Nebraska is the toughest. So down in Fall City. So between Fall City and Beatrice, it's pretty much exactly 35 miles to get there. I mean, you couldn't get it
Can't
much
squeeze
different.
it, yeah.
Sure.
So with Saunders County, if you look at the map, there's a little boom up for Saunders County, but everything else, there's 15 counties is what we serve, is what Southeast Community College serves.
Okay. And how long has the Learning Center been in Wahoo?
The Learning Center in Wahoo has been here since, I believe it was April of 2018.
Okay.
I remember the ribbon cutting.
I do
think
too.
I attended
I do
the ribbon
too.
cutting.
Yes,
But yeah, I couldn't
I
have
did
told you
too.
it was 2018.
No, I couldn't have either.
Well, it's a beautiful
It
building.
is.
It's a
I was
great
just going to
facility.
say that. I remember when we went in and to it for the ribbon cutting.
Mhm.
And then just not too long ago, we had a meeting. We had one of our chamber meetings
Yes.
there.
Yeah.
And it's a really nice facility.
Mhm.
It's the smallest of the 6 because we
Okay.
only have 2 classrooms. Most of the other ones have 3 or 4 or 5.
Oh, wow.
Have larger facilities.
Uh-huh.
One of the biggest things in this area, obviously, and we're grateful for Saunders Medical Center, is they host our nursing assistant classes.
Oh.
Because we do not have room in our facility where Nebraska City, Falls City, and York have their nursing assistant classes in their learning center.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Huh.
So obviously with only 2 classrooms in our building, we are not able to host it there. So
Makes sense.
Saunders Medical Center graciously works with us and our nursing assistant instructor to have the classes out there in their facility.
Oh, that's great. I love that they're, again, small community helping
Right,
each other.
right,
and-
co-oping
Yeah.
too.
Yes.
to make it work.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Well, the other thing I appreciate too about the classes, they're very inexpensive. Like it's nice because they are super affordable to take.
We try to keep it that way. There's some that are a little more expensive, but it also depends on what you're taking. I mean, there's metal smithing, woodworking. There's several of those types of classes that are a little more expensive, but that's all based on
Cost of materials that
cost
you
of
need.
material and what's going on. Plus, those are classes that meet for 6, 8, 10 weeks
Sure.
for a couple hours
Right.
at a time. So you kind of have to base it on that as well.
Get a little
Of
bit more
course.
in depth in it than an afternoon with Bob Ross.
Right.
Yeah. Bob Ross is one of them that it seems a little more expensive, but there's not a supply fee like some of the other ones have. It's built into the tuition.
Okay.
Oh, got it.
Just because she has to bring so many different paints and so many different things, canvas and everything.
Oh,
for
yeah.
that.
Oh, sure.
So I'd always looked at it since I've been the coordinator at the Learning Center of taking one of those. So this last Saturday I actually did. There's only a couple people signed up.
So you sat with the brushes and made some happy little trees.
So I did decide to take the Bob Ross classes, and it was interesting. It was fun. I'm not much of a painter, but I did making the picture look somewhat similar to what.
Nice.
But yeah,
So you're saying anybody can do it?
yes, literally anybody can do a Bob Ross class. I mean, I am
Not
not.
to throw you under the bus.
I am not an artist by any means, but I was actually able. I was kind of surprised at some of the techniques that she shows you on how to create different things on canvas. I mean,
Sure.
I didn't know to move a brush and twist and do different things. I mean, it makes it, the picture I have on there, so this is,
Oh,
Okay.
sure.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to make it made it look like a waterfall, and I actually created it.
Really?
Nice. You're like,
Interesting.
hey.
Well, and it's oil paint too,
It
isn't
is oil paint,
That's
so-
a little bit trickier. Like I've never messed with oil paints.
Yeah,
you know?
it is a little different, and she has techniques and ways that she does it and walks you through everything. So
Do
I've
you
always
do like that brush, like like Bob Ross. It seems like he always clean out his
he does,
brush.
like-
yeah,
Yes,
he, like,
yeah.
she has a rack that you sit there and you beat your brush against and
Yes.
clean all the oil off and
And
do.
I think Bob always said like beat the devil out of your brush or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like
he
he
said
said
it.
he would say stuff like,
Oh yeah, she kind of does too. She
that's
so
awesome.
It's
she's a-
kind of like the
she's a-
essence of like the
Yep.
happy little. I mean, did you make a happy little tree? I have to ask.
I think it kind of did. They're different types of trees, but she actually has a cutout of Bob Ross that she brings, and so when you're done,
Fun.
you can take a picture with,
With-
your Bob Ross
So
picture
it's like actually
with his silhouette of Bob Ross.
I love it.
Oh, that's a fun
So, yeah.
class.
That is a fun class. Maybe we need to
I was
take
gonna say,
it.
shall we take Bob Ross?
I feel like we should.
It'll be. I can't remember when we have. I think it's in June. We'll have that one again.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep. I was
Well.
gonna say let's get that on our calendar.
Yes.
Go experience it. That sounds like a lot of fun.
It was fun. So I've been there before where because whenever we have an instructor there, either myself or my admin assistant, Annette Souchet, who has been the admin assistant since 4 months after it opened. So,
Okay.
So she's been there the whole time.
The
it's
whole
been
time,
open.
yeah.
So either one of us is there to open the class. So I've heard people laugh, and I mean, we've had, I think 12 is the largest group we've had for a Bob Ross class.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
So
That's a lot of painters.
Yeah.
that is. So it's fun. I'll sit in my office and I listen to them laugh. And then when you get done, you take a group photo with everybody that created it. So,
Sure.
so we have quite a few of those for we have a TV in our lobby that displays different
It's like a
classes.
slideshow of all
Yep.
the different things that have
all
gone
the different
on.
things that have gone on. So
Oh, that's fun.
That's
I
very
love that.
cool.
Talking about like that, and you were saying that's going to be in June. What classes are coming up, like in April and May, or do you have quite a few?
We have several. Like I said before, that rip cut glue, collage art, and draw up a sketch. They're coming up at the end of this month.
Okay.
So they'll actually be a 2-part thing. They'll be on April 26th for an hour and a half each of them, and then they will go again on May 3rd.
Okay.
So
So it's a 2-day class.
It's a 2-day class.
Okay.
And then after that, on the first weekend of May, I didn't know much about it until obviously I started in this, but have you guys ever heard of Cricut?
Oh, yeah.
Like the machine cricket?
The machine Cricut.
Okay.
Yeah,
You
like
can
cuts
make-
out your fun.
Yeah,
little-
You can make
I don't have
pretty
one,
much
but
anything
Okay.
with a Cricut machine.
I can say I don't have one either, but I have heard, and there's been times where I'm like, I think I want that, and then I'm like, Are you really gonna?
Are you
really
use
gonna
it?
use that?
So we have May 3rd, we have that. It's called Creating with Cricut. So we have an instructor that comes up and
Oh.
shows you all the end products that you can get with your Cricut machine.
All the tips and
Okay.
tricks and
I feel like that's what I would need to do before buying
Definitely.
one, because I feel like I'd be like, I have it now. What does it do?
right.
Oh yeah, I mean, it is amazing what it can do. I didn't know, but you can do greeting cards.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
All kinds of
Like
greeting
t-shirt
cards.
transfers.
You can
like
do
you can do
t-shirt
like an iron on.
transfers. You can do iron-on t-shirts. You can make lamps with the paper cutouts, and then you put it on the lamp. Oh, it is amazing.
Okay.
The type of stuff that will do.
So do you bring your own Cricut to this and then kind of like
ask
walk
that-
through it?
They ask that you bring your own with an
Okay.
active. You have this. It's a Cricut. I don't know. It's some
Like a
type of
membership?
Membership.
oh,
You can get very basic
yes.
Uh-huh.
to get into the. Trying to bring. Can't remember. Design Space is what it's called.
Okay.
The
Software.
program.
So it's like $1.99 for the basic, so you can get in. Because if you don't have that,
Sure.
you can't really create anything in class.
Oh,
Our instructor has it, and he could create. But if you
Right.
have several people,
right.
you're not going to all be able to use
To do a
his
project.
machine.
Right.
So
well, and there's something about like going through the steps yourself and not just
Yes.
watching. You know, it's like
Yes.
you learn better when you're doing it yourself.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
So
yeah.
the first class we had, a father and daughter came, and he had a outside sign that he was wanting to get a new part to put on it, or
Okay.
Mhm.
it was a metal
Some letters,
sign.
maybe.
He wanted to so they created what he wanted to have his sign say in that
Oh.
Cricut class.
Really?
Wow.
But yeah, that's just the basic beginning.
Mhm.
He also knows, like I said, 3D greeting cards, and then you can also do stencil creation.
Okay.
Or you
That's
can-
what I've seen.
There's
Okay.
so much stuff. The Learning Center in Plattsmouth actually has a Cricut craft day
Mm.
to where you
Oh.
can go in and set up from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Oh, wow.
and
It's
craft.
a long day.
That is a long
I don't even know if I could even craft that long.
And that's just what they do for Cricut. I mean, they have a
Wow.
scrapbook day where they'll be there from, I think it's 8 a.m. to 11 p.m.
Oh, jeez.
Oh my gosh.
It's past my bedtime.
So I
Friday,
feel
Saturday. You don't have to be there the whole time. You can sign up for different parts of it. But
okay.
Uh-huh.
But I feel like sometimes when you get into that stuff, especially
Mhm.
like scrapbooking,
Yes.
I feel like you could just spend hours, and I'm guessing Cricut too.
Oh, yeah.
Depending
by
on
the
what
time
you're
you get it on your computer and you get your design,
right.
get it all created, and then you put all your stuff into the machine and hit print, and it does all the cutting for you. I mean,
Wow.
it is amazing watching that stuff. What he even created. He used a picture, put it through the Cricut, however he did it, in the stencil creation, and he created his own puzzle.
Oh, wow.
with a picture of his kids.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
He turned that picture into a puzzle.
Huh.
That's fascinating.
That is. Okay. I didn't
Well, and to
know
have an
you could
expert
do
like
that.
that, at your fingertips to kind of like inspire you, to show you all the different things you can do and then set you loose and
Yeah, so
Right.
that's what people do is they'll come in and they create a project while they're in that class. So they can create it's usually this simple greeting card or something.
Okay.
The vast majority of the class is discussing the machine, how to set it up,
all the
with your
different
laptop,
bells
all
and
the stuff.
whistles.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, and that's nice. That is really nice where you get something and then, and you can
Mhm.
watch like YouTube, you could do all that, but having
Oh, yeah.
someone right there.
And, no, this button here.
Yes. And be able to ask
That's
questions.
the biggest thing is be able to
Mhm.
ask the questions.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Have an expert on site.
Yeah.
Interesting.
that's part of the main part of my job is finding instructors to
Okay.
do different stuff, different
Okay.
classes. I have people say it would be really cool to have a class in this, and I'm like, yes, it would be great.
It would be very cool.
Do you happen to know anybody
Do you know
that
anybody
has
that does underwater
has that-
basket weaving?
Right.
that has that talent that would like to teach?
Right.
Uh-huh.
Right. Because you can't just whip it out of the air.
Nope.
And have that instructor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's part of the reason why I'm part of Wahoo Chamber, and I'm also a part of the Ashland Chamber.
Mm-hmm.
Is getting
Those
spreading
connections
things
out, meeting people.
Yeah. Yeah.
the other big thing that people enjoy is we have a lot of one-on-one like computer training.
Oh, I didn't
I've
know
heard that. Yeah.
So if you have people that are wanting to know more about how to run their laptop or their computer, or they're
Mhm.
wanting to learn how to run MacBooks or that different stuff, they sign up for the class, and then because our instructor is only available certain times to be able to come
Sure.
in.
Mm-hmm.
So the person signs up, and then we get a hold of the instructor, and we work it out to where they can come in. And if it's a computer class, you can get 3 hours of one-on-one personalized training on your computer.
Wow, that's nice.
That's really nice. Well, and is there a smartphone training
There's
as well?
a smart device
Okay.
training, one-on-one
Oh.
smart device, and there's also a one-on-one social media training.
Oh, okay.
That'd
So
be
we've
good
had
too.
people that have signed up that want to get in. They want to learn more how to do Facebook or
Mhm.
Instagram.
Sure.
Is it more like business social media or personal social media, or just kind of whatever you want to learn about? You can
Yes.
kind of tailor
We've had
that when you have
people-
your instructor.
Actually, it was kind of cool. We had a student that signed up for, they wanted to know how to promote more of their business on social media.
Mm-hmm.
And through the process of her being a student, I found out that she also likes to do different craft stuff.
Oh.
And she is now one of my instructors.
Well, that worked out.
So you never know where you're going to find that instructor or that next person.
Right.
They might be coming in to learn something else, but they have a
Right.
talent to share.
Correct.
That's great.
And so actually last night at the chamber get together
Oh,
events and everything, I
yeah.
had somebody that I was talking with that really likes to crochet. So I'm going to try to persuade them
do a crochet class.
to do more crochet classes because they've been offered at Wahoo before, but we do not have a instructor. I have one
Okay.
I have one instructor friend of mine. I've convinced them to do basic crochet
Okay.
just to get people started. But the person I talked
Uh-huh.
with last night can do more advanced stuff.
Oh.
So I'm going to see if I can keep pursuing them.
Yes. To be like,
Well,
hey.
And having that as an option, like my mom taught me how to crochet, but if your parent or grandparent didn't, you know what I mean? If you didn't have that, how would you learn?
Learn, right.
So having this as an option, I think is great.
I also
Yeah.
have another friend that I convinced to, they know how to knit.
Oh,
So I'm going to have a beginning knitting class that'll be coming
Okay.
up this summer, late summer. So
and I feel like that's stuff people want to learn.
It's a lost art.
It is
you
a lost
know?
art. And I feel like younger people, like I was just
Mhm.
at the FCCLA state taking the photos for that, and
Mhm.
they have a fashion little show. Like it's very like a quick little show
Okay.
of showing what these kids designed.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know how many times I was like, wow, like saying it out loud. But one,
Uh-huh.
I don't know if it was knitting or crocheting. But it was like a
Uh-huh.
whole jacket
Oh,
type
wow.
thing, that I was like, oh,
Uh-huh.
like the kids that age,
it's,
high
it's
school
coming
kids.
back around.
Yeah.
Everything cycles back around. And so those things are starting to get more popular.
Yeah.
My 14-year-old crochets like crazy. And she
Yeah.
has like 3 or 4 sweaters,
that she's made.
Yeah, I keep asking her when she's going to make me one. And Not yet.
My daughter's 22, and in the last couple of years, she's picked up, I think it's crocheting.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I think, and I don't know if it is for some people that it's very almost like not meditating, but therapeutic.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the word.
It is. That's what she does it for. She'll sit
Okay.
there and watch TV or do stuff, and she just
Yeah, once
And
you know
just
how to
does-
do it, you don't
and
have
she
to pay
just
attention to it. You can just
does it. So,
That's
create.
so just
cool.
finding that kind of stuff,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
creating new classes, doing that type of stuff.
So do you just walk up to people and you're like, hey, what's your talent?
Do you want to do a class
do
for me?
Do you have a secret talent?
Not quite that bold, but it has been pretty close on a few things. So I know people that they either are an artist or have an art gallery. Like there's one in Ashland that I'm talking with that he potentially wants to do like copper etched jewelry.
Oh.
So just getting that figured out, the dynamics and when it would work. And
Sure.
so sometimes there's been people that I've talked to shortly after I started in June of 23 that were just now getting the class created. So it's been almost
Kind of a work
over
in
2
progress.
years by the time the class actually gets offered
Right.
from the time I talk to them about it.
Sure. Sure.
So you're always thinking ahead.
I'm
you know?
trying. I mean, I have to, because here in the next few weeks, I'll be starting the class creation, our spreadsheet to create the flyer for October, November, December.
Oh, wow.
Oh, geez.
I was going to say that does say spring. So then, yeah, you're going to, yeah.
So we put out 4 a year. So we do winter, spring, summer, and fall.
Mm-hmm.
So we split it every 3 months. We have a new flyer. Or
The booklet.
we call this the SOC, or schedule of classes. So, yeah, there's all kinds, there's stuff in here I've looked at and I went, that would be really cool to offer.
Yeah. But
I just got to find somebody. Like
Gotta
some of
find
the
an
other
instructor.
ones offer soap making.
okay.
that could be fun.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So people, and there's there's things I would love to offer, but I can't because I don't have a kitchen in my learning
I was just
center.
thinking about that, like
Sure,
you
sure,
know, like
sure.
a water source, you know, kitchen. Except that canning. Like when we were talking about like knitting and crocheting, like all these things coming around. Canning, I think, is like really big now too.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, it is.
But-
And I have a potential canning instructor, but they won't be able to do anything.
Without a
Well, you can do a hot plate, and they've done it on a hot plate. So there are ways around doing certain
Okay.
things. So you could technically
Sure.
show people how to can and use a hot plate to get it. But they live out of state. They're only back in Nebraska certain times a year.
Oh, so you really have to like.
I really have to plan it out
Schedule,
and
yes.
figure it out when they're in. Plus, figure out, okay, I'm 5 months away. I had to start planning it now. So that's some of the tough things I ask instructors. All right,
what are you doing in December?
Right. Yeah.
what class would you like to offer in November?
Right. Right.
It's April.
I know.
I know. So that's the other challenge, is getting the instructors to
Sure.
get that stuff.
Sure. Well, though I do feel like with everyone's busy schedules, I would rather be like, yes, tell me what I'm doing in November, you know,
You just get on the calendar
and get it
now.
on. Yeah. Because if you wait, they're going to be like, I'm
booked.
I'm
yeah.
booked.
Right.
Yeah.
It goes up.
Some like it, some don't. So, and then there's other portions of classes that we offer that are online. They're via Zoom.
Okay.
So one of the popular ones, and our instructor really likes teaching it, is creative writing.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a 3-week class. It meets May 7th through the 21st from 6 to 7:30 p.m. And it's all via Zoom. So you get a Zoom link from the instructor,
Okay.
and you can do it at your own home,
Sure.
or if you don't have the greatest internet
connection.
connection,
Oh, sure.
you can come to the Learning Center, and we will
Okay.
Zoom it through our TV in our classroom.
Oh,
We've done that a
nice.
few times. So
Okay.
we do have some classes that are offered via Zoom only.
Right.
Some are offered face-to-face only, and some are hybrid, where we'll offer 2 sections where some people can come to the Learning Center and others can Zoom,
Gotcha.
however it works. So
Well, and there might be some people, if you're doing the Zoom and you're like, my house, I can't sit and do creative writing
Right,
because
with
there's
my kids running
running
around.
around. Yeah. So it's like, I need to get out. And so I think that's great that you offer that, even though it's a Zoom, that you can still go to the Learning Center and you can focus. And
we've had a couple of people that have done it for that very reason. They're like, I would love to take this. They called, I would love to take this class, but I don't think I can have enough quiet in my house.
right.
Like, you can come to the Learning Center. You can sit in our classroom. It'll be quiet. You can Zoom in. And and they've signed up and they've showed up at the Learning Center to
That's
do it.
great.
You really give people no excuse not to learn something.
Correct.
Yeah.
I mean, there
You take it
really
everywhere,
is.
like,
Yeah.
It doesn't
Yeah.
cost much. We make it easy. Come down and see us. We're there 5 days a week. You can come in and talk to us. You can schedule
Yeah.
online, schedule in person.
Yeah,
you know.
it pretty much eliminates any excuse you may have.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
We've even had some people take credit classes. They'll come in and sit there.
Oh.
They used to have it before COVID really changed the one process. It used to be robot, where you could we had actually had a student that came in and took all of her classes through SCC and got her degree through the Wahoo Learning Center, and she did it via robot,
Okay.
where she could sit and I wasn't there. I hadn't started working there yet, but I was
before your time.
told about it that she could sit there and run the controls for the robot, and she would drive the robot from class to class in the Lincoln campus.
From Wahoo.
From Wahoo, she could drive the
What?
robot
Wow.
in Lincoln and then roll into the classroom. That was prior to Zoom being so popular.
Oh,
So
sure.
Zoom kind of did away with,
Okay.
Doing that.
Made that obsolete.
Sure.
Huh.
but yeah, she learned how to drive the robot with remote control from the Wahoo Learning Center in
That's
the main campus in Lincoln.
That's
awesome.
impressive.
Yeah.
So it transitioned from the robot learning to the Zoom,
Right.
Okay.
Right.
which we have, and we do offer, I mean, almost any credit class, if it doesn't have hands-on experience needed, almost any class we can request from the instructor or from the student, we can do a request to the instructor to offer it through our learning center, and then the student can sit there and Zoom through it. We've had that, 3 students have done that since I've been the coordinator.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
That have come in and taken. So yeah, we have credit, non-credit, leisure, test proctoring. The other big thing is we do AccuPlacer,
Okay.
which is high school. It's not just high school students, but anybody that's wanting to go to college, they can go in and do an AccuPlacer to see what math or English class they would score into.
Oh, got it.
And kind of
So-
where to start.
Yeah.
Where to start. It used to be a bigger thing that happened a lot more with the dual credit.
Mm-hmm.
So they had to have an AccuPlacer to see what English or math class they would follow into for dual credit.
Okay.
It's not a requirement now for dual credit, so we don't do quite as much AccuPlacer, but it's 100% free for high school students. It's,
wow.
It's not timed. They can come in and I've seen them take anywhere from 20 minutes to do the math test to 2.5 hours to do the math test.
Oh.
Oh,
So-
geez.
Wow.
And as you're doing the math test, as if you're doing it, it'll adjust to how you're doing.
Okay.
So it'll start giving you more difficult questions if you're doing really well. It'll back up
Oh.
and kind of restart easier.
Sure.
Uh-huh.
And then there's 3 different parts to it. Sometimes it just depends on how you're doing.
Okay.
And so it'll take it through, and then it'll give you a score, and then it'll show how that coincides with what class SCC would have you go into.
Sure. Oh,
So-
that's
Would
cool.
be your next step.
Yeah.
So if you're going into one that requires 3 math classes, but you score high enough, you can skip 2 and then be in that 3rd class and not have to spend as much on tuition.
Oh, sure.
If you already know
sure.
the
So
material.
if you already know
Right.
you can
You don't need to take that
essentially
class.
test out of that class.
Right.
It'll do the same with English as well.
Okay. Well, that's
That's
great.
very cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Technology.
Yes. It's interesting. So that's the whole gamut of basically what we do at the Learning Center.
That's awesome.
Plus, we now have the GED ESL classes are held at our Learning Center. They used
Oh.
to be at the Wahoo Public Library.
Yeah.
And now they've moved to our Learning Center
Okay.
every Tuesday and Thursday from 5 to 7.
Oh, okay.
So
Lots of options.
So we have
Yeah.
a GED. She does the GED ESL. She shows up every Tuesday and Thursday, and then students will come there. We have 3 or 4 now that are actively showing up to do that.
Well, that's
Oh,
great.
nice.
Yeah.
Remind me, do you guys have social media for the Learning Center?
We do. It is.
I can't remember if I was just seeing people posting the classes that they went to or if it was like an
we
official
actually-
SEC.
Oh, sure.
The main thing that we do is Facebook for our Learning Center. So it's facebook.com/SCC Learning Center at Wahoo.
Okay.
It's on the bottom of every flyer that we have. It has it listed on it.
Oh, good.
And it has our phone numbers either on the flyer or on the book or on the website. So
And then how do people obviously they can go to the Learning Center to pick up like a book or a flyer. Is there a way you were saying like, I get this in the mail?
I'm pretty sure I get one in the mail.
Is there a
Right
way
at
that can
house.
people sign up for that?
They can call and request it, but
Okay.
how like you are getting it every time is because your daughter is taking a class.
Gotcha.
Got
We
it.
got,
So
we
once
get on the
you've-
list.
So once you
Once you take a class.
you are on the list.
Okay.
So you will either
Got
get
it.
the schedule of classes, which has all 6 learning centers,
Mm-hmm.
plus the CEC or Continuing Education Center in Lincoln,
Mm-hmm.
or the flyer will be mailed directly to your house.
Perfect.
So we have
So
a mailing
get a
list.
class in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
get
then
your Bob
you
Ross
can
done.
be
and
on
then
Yeah,
there.
get your
you're-
Bob Ross,
Yes.
get your upcycled gnomes,
Yes.
cricket classes, all of that taken care of. So
And I know that I always see it on our chamber weekly.
Mhm.
Correct.
We have those come
On the
out
email list.
and the email list.
Uh-huh.
So that's another way to
Yeah.
get on that email list, and you can kind of see the upcoming classes.
correct. And that's the one that does that. She sends for the Wahoo Weekly
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She gets it turned in every week to have every of our upcoming classes, which are in the next couple of weeks.
They'll be.
That's what she keeps
Keep you in the know.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's always interesting stuff. I mean, whenever I get that in the mail, I always open it and read it because it's like, oh, there's ukulele classes in Wahoo? What? You know what I mean?
Sure.
It's
Yeah.
really fun to kind of read what's coming up.
We've had some that other classes. It was interesting. I was told that the intro to ukulele instructor took an intro to guitar class at the Learning Center and then asked the coordinator prior to me, do you have a ukulele class?
Right.
No.
Mhm.
I love teaching you. And that's how she became an instructor. She took
Uh-huh.
another class.
Huh.
Wow. That's cool.
Well, didn't
So-
you have a sign language class too?
We have had a sign language class. That's another thing is we have these cool classes that happen once or twice, and then the instructor's life happens and is not able
Sure.
to continue.
And everybody's like, what about that sign
It's like-
language class?
right, right.
When's the next sign language?
Yep. And so we thought we had another lead on a sign language instructor. They were not able to. So
Oh, shoot.
we've also had cake decorating. That instructor, I think, got busy with grandkids and how that happens.
Yes. Yes.
So there are some food classes that we are able to do, there'll be demonstration classes where the instructor will show up and show you how to do everything, and then we'll bring a finished product, but you can take it home.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if people are interested in being an instructor, how would they reach you?
You can give me a call. My phone number is 402-323-5581, or they can send me an email. That's c.stukenholtz@southeast.edu, or there is a way to go online to the Southeast Community College SCC.com page, and there's a spot where you can go in the business and community area to get to the learning centers, and there's a spot you can click on that says want to teach.
Oh, okay.
Great.
So you can fill that out, and it'll be emailed in, and then somebody watches it, and when you fill it out, you just put on there because we have some that'll, like our Bob Ross instructor, she goes to all of them, all the learning
Oh,
That's
centers.
sure.
impressive.
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
you can specify
Like
Wahoo
which one.
only,
Yeah.
what you would like to teach, and then you can send it out.
Okay.
So we actually had a class that just ran at the end of March. It was Seed Starting 101.
Oh, that'd be a good one.
So people want to know how to get their seed started for
Yeah.
their gardening.
Yeah.
So that was one. That was a student that I can't remember exactly. She was one of them that just filled out that she wanted to teach. It got sent to me. I reached out to her. She has other class ideas, so we're getting those built up as well.
Nice.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
We have one that didn't run because we didn't have enough students sign up for it, but it was healthy dog snacks.
Oh, I think I did see that. I did see
You
it.
should take that
I thought about taking it, but my dog is.
Gizmo
I
loves some
know.
healthy
I
snacks.
know. Gizmo's very picky, so that's why I was
Well,
like,
From what I've been told, is the instructor's dog is very picky as well, and so these are healthy snacks that
that
most
actually
dogs will
Oh,
like
okay.
it.
Maybe I should have done
Huh.
it. I did see it, and I did
Did
I
you?
did. Yeah. Yeah. I was
If-
like,
Darn, I wish you
Darn
would have,
it.
because that would have been our next person that could have made it run. We were that close to having it run, but we didn't have.
shoot.
But it won't be for another. I don't know if we'll have it again this year or not, but we will have her back as a
Okay.
Okay.
instructor. We will do
Okay.
it.
Well,
She's-
I'll sign
You
up.
have to get on the mailing list.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's also one of our instructors that is one of our one-on-one instructors. So
Okay.
Okay.
she make dog treats and teach you how to use your computer.
Wow.
And all kinds of talented
Yes,
people
Yeah,
come
yes.
through your doors.
Like I said, I'm always looking for different people to
Yes.
do
all the
different
things.
classes.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, if anybody wants to teach photography or flower classes, I just figure this is a platform to throw it out there.
Right? Maybe one day when the podcast doesn't take up our time, we could
We'll do a little.
send an email.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it'd be fun.
They are. I enjoy, like I said, we are there on Saturdays or in the evenings. So I enjoy sitting in my office, listening to people laugh and
Having a good time.
having a good time. Or when the ukulele class was going on the one time, first week going,
Yeah.
plug on my ears. And then by the time they were done, you could tell they were actually playing songs. So
Yes.
Interesting.
I bet that's kind of fun too, like for something like that, where you're like, oh gosh, the first week, but then the last week you're like, oh wow. So you kind of saw that
The
or heard that
progression.
progression.
yeah, you definitely heard that progression. So.
Which is good that you weren't
Yeah.
like at the end of being like, oh,
Okay.
oh my.
Maybe we should have made it a 10-week
You all fail.
class.
Yeah.
Maybe we should have made it a 10-week class.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, fun. Well, it's just so awesome to know that this is all at our fingertips
Yes.
in Wahoo, like just right downtown and easy to access.
Yes. Right on Broadway.
Correct. That's the other thing I was going to say. It's 536 North Broadway.
Okay.
Okay.
I was like, I didn't know the numbers, but I was like, I know it's on Broadway.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
the
awesome.
easiest way we tell people when they come into town, if they know anything about Wahoo, take a left at the Dollar General.
Yes.
And we're halfway down the block on the right.
Oh,
Right. Oh, that's a good way.
Yep.
Yes.
I mean, most people, they can find the Dollar General,
Yep.
yes.
take a left halfway down the block on the right.
Yes.
There it
Where-
is.
That's
where
a
we're
good.
located. So
Yeah. That's always good. I'm always good with that kind of direction.
Give me a landmark.
But
Don't
yeah,
tell me
yeah.
north or south.
No.
yeah,
you know.
landmark directions generally do pretty good,
Yeah.
especially when the landmark isn't going to move. So.
No, right.
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 And it's a big one.
Yes. Well, Cliff, thank you so
Yeah,
much
thank
for
you.
joining us
You're
today.
welcome. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, this was
Yeah, it was
awesome.
very informative.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I know, Bob Ross.
Bob Ross.
We're gonna do it.
We are.
Bob Ross, Healthy Dog Snacks.
Yes. Yes.
And maybe teach one day. Maybe.
Yes.
Maybe. I'll-
Maybe.
Maybe.
I may or may not ask you every time I see you guys.
Hey, you gotta get your classes filled somehow.
Right.
Gotta
Right.
figure
Well, that's
out-
what I was gonna
Yeah,
say.
always trying to bring something new because, like I said, it cycles through, and some classes don't run, but ran good the time before. So
Well, oh, sure.
Mhm.
Yeah.
just
You
always
just never
finding
know what
something
the-
new. Yep.
Yep.
With the hot classes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Well, awesome. Well, thanks for listening, everybody, and don't forget.
To keep it local, friends.
This has been a Chamber Chat
With Kate.
and Kat.
See you next time.